What is up, shiny happy people? Welcome if you're already in the stream. And remember, if you're subscribed, to click that little bell. Ring my bell. You should ring my bell. Uh, People aren't getting alerts about live streams, so I don't know. I don't know how YouTube works. I'm not an algorithmist, a physicist. Reels tanks, cheers. Cheers to you. I'm drinking hard on this Saturday. I'm into my second Dr. Pepper of the day, giving my pancreas a workout. How's everybody else doing? Fishy Facts Friday, Ginger Graves, Fish Dreams. What's up, everybody? It's good to see everyone. So, I figured I'd talk today. If you guys have any questions not related to anything, that's fine. I'm probably not going to do a ton of walking around and looking at every tank. I feel like I've done update videos lately of that. And so I just wanted to chat with y'all, see how everyone's doing. And then also, I have some gift certificates to give away. And basically, I'm just going to pick some people and give some gift certificates away. So that's how that's going to work. So if you have questions, or I think maybe what we'll do is I'll have a couple times when I'll say like, um, I want to stalk my wife is right now shining her phone right in my face from the deck. Thanks, honey. Um, so in any case, I think what I might do, I saw some comments on the video too, so I've got a reward for that person also. But I have a $35 gift certificate and then a couple 20s. So I figured I'd give the 20s away today. And that's to aquaticarts.com. Anything that's alive and kicking, you can buy with those. So, yeah. And then I've got codes, so it'll all be digital. I'll just send you the code if you email me or whatever, or I'll email you. And so, yeah. I'll probably come up with maybe a question, and the answer that I dig the most each time that I do that, I will deem an award. I don't know. There's no way to win in particular. Just be good people. And I think I want to talk a little bit today about stalking a. So that's the other thing. I might just give away a gift certificate to y'all for being a good person today, or answering someone else's question. If someone has a question that I feel like you guys can answer quickly, I'll probably just say like talk to the chat if it's something I answer a lot. Because you guys have gotten so good at that sometimes I don't need to answer the same thing over and over. But I'm happy to if people want to know. So I guess oh yeah, how am I doing from the lightning? You haven't watched in a while. Hey Bob, how's it going? I was just saying I'm gonna give out some gift certificates. I should give you a gift certificate, Bob, just for, you know what? The next round of gift certificates I get, I'm giving you one, Bob. Mark my words, just for your hard work. Aquatic Arts. Their new thing is, you guys have been using the code so much from my videos and my unboxings and stuff that 4% of what you guys spend is going into a fund, and that's where these $20 gift cards and stuff are coming from. And so it's actually 2%, but you guys have dropped like 2 grand last month between everyone using the code. And now I get to give away 2% of 2 grand worth of cash. So, or gift cards, I should say. So that's cool. And then the other 2% so total of 4%, I have to give away during a big giveaway for Christmas in July type thing, and then the rest is going to be on there doing. They're going to give away some livestock in the future also. Cool, Ginger. Yeah, Ginger got a gift card from them, or from me through them. Whatever. You guys get the picture. But that was the other thing, is somebody asked how I was doing since the lightning strike. What's new? That kind of stuff. So I kind of wanted to use this live stream. I was going to go over some stocking ideas for small tanks, but I also was going to get a little philosophical in this stream. Like, I do sometimes, which I know sets the channel apart a little bit from some channels. I know you guys came for fish stuff, so this is like fish room philosophy, like what am I gonna do next and stuff like that. And you know, I think right now I'm at a turning point, and I've got a job working for Aquarium Zen now in my city, my favorite shop that I've been hitting up for years, and I've become friends with the owner. So there's a hint for you. If you want to get a job, just hang out there and buy things until they hire you. But no, really, what happened is I was there, and people were like, "Hey, can I get help with this?" Because the owner would let me just get my own fish out of the tanks when I'd come in. He'd be like, "Oh, grab whatever you want and ring it up, and you know you can save time." Because it's always busy now. His shop like has gotten very popular. Aquascaping in general has gotten very popular in Seattle, more popular than it was, I should say. And I just found out that we're going to be working more towards paludariums and terrariums. So we're going to try, I believe, to sell some like humid plants, like tropical plants, and then some plants that are fine just in a room in a temperate environment like in Seattle, and then also immersed for wabikusa, like pennyworts and blixas and stuff like that, ludwigias. And then we're also going to sell all the aquatic stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be really cool to see. Haley and Mandy, Christy, Harrison, Lucas, everybody who's rolling in. Hello. Um, so yeah, well, in Utah, Harrison, there's that guy in Salt Lake City that, oh, what's his name? Utah Aquascaping, or man, I feel bad because I watch this channel a lot, but it just automatically pops up. But there's a guy that does some really amazing aquascaping out of Utah. If you look for him, it's like Utah or Salt Lake Design Group or something. But so I'm at a turning point because I'm going to be at the shop, and somebody asked how I was doing recovering from the lightning strike. Physically, I'm doing a lot better. I still have days where mentally I'm slow, and it occurred to me when I was watching some videos lately. When I'm doing a video like at 4 in the morning watching my fry, I realized that I sound wasted, and that voice of the lightning strike thing comes back when I'm tired. And it's like a zombie voice or something where I'm like, "Hey, I'm Alex, and these are fish swimming." And I talk gravelly from low. I don't have fine skill over the tip of my tongue, over the lips and through the tip of your tongue. Um, so I want to be careful about making videos like that because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, dude, this guy doesn't care. He's just wasted, or he's up in the middle of the night doing nothing." Because I really do care about those videos. So that was one thing I was thinking about. The lightning strike stuff getting better. That was in the end of June, so it's coming up here. I mean, it'll be a year in no time, and I still have, some burns and stuff and I also have lupus. So if you guys didn't know, if you're new to the channel, I do have lupus. I'm an advocate for autoimmune diseases. Basically, my body is overreactive, so my body attacks itself for no reason. So like when you get an allergy, you get red and swollen and itchy. I get that internally, different organs, my skin, for no reasons. Stress is a reason, I suppose, and things like that. Injury, allergies can compound it, but there's a lot of kinds of lupus. There's a lot of kinds of rheumatoid arthritis, and they kind of couldn't choose between what it was for a while. And so, yeah. In any case, I just wanted to kind of update you guys on the channel and get your input on some things, and then give away the gift cards. But my fish room, now that I'm going to be working literally in a place where I get to set up aquascapes And I think Steve is saying that like if someone comes in from like the Gates Foundation and he doesn't have time for their aquascape, I'll be his go-to like person that they can talk to. So for the Seattle area, that's a big area. He's definitely the shop to go to. And so that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of places would call someone like, George Farmer or Tom Barr or someone like internationally acclaimed. But I'm hoping to use this opportunity to get some acclaim because I really do enjoy it. And thanks, Bob. Yeah, show some love and hit that like button if you can. Uh, and so it's going to change the channel. I know it will. Because I've been home since the lightning strike, and that's been 9 months of the channel. So, I mean, people like Bob have been around since before that, and a lot of you have, but a lot of you have been around this last year or so, and the channel's been one kind of thing. And I want to do the history videos still, and so I'm kind of toying with the idea of not updating so much on my own fish room because I'm going to be allowed to update on all the cool fish we order in. I'll get to talk with Steve, the owner, and he said like if I want to order in, 20 of some rare little nano fish that comes up, we can try it out, that kind of thing. I had him bring in purple tetras, and people love those. So there's things like that if it works out, I think we'll be able to keep doing it. And things like beta macrostoma, bringing those into the store. We have some back tanks in the store that hopefully I want to do a breeding and a rare plant farming project. A little bit of each of those. So, maybe that can be also part of this channel. I don't know. Is that something you guys would be interested in? It allows me to get my hands on the stuff that I normally couldn't afford, basically. If the shop pays for, if I want to do Ireo Vietnam and Ireo blood vomit and all these like exotic plants, I could probably do that. What's up, Bongwater? What's up? Not your average fish keeper, guppy girl. Uh, wow, everybody's in here today. It's cool to see all the people dropping through. So yeah, as I said earlier, I'm gonna be giving out the gift cards today during this live stream, the $20 ones. So if I see you saying something nice to one another, if you guys have a really good question, or if when I get to it and I ask a question, and you guys have input on it, then that's who I will give it out to. That, and there was a really sweet post I just wanted to say that whoever wanted to get the 2 guppies for the 2 betta fish for their kids, that was a sweet post. So I don't know why that just kind of came off as like, oh, getting new kids into the hobby. Let's see. Bob says one of my local fish stores, mostly salt, asked if I'd help order fresh fish. Oh, right on, Bob. He said I could order any fish each week I wanted at cost. Still had to say no. Yeah, luckily this is a freshwater store that we have, that I'm working at aquariums in, and it sounds like I'm being brought in. It's still not 100% clear because he hired a couple new people, but it sounds like I'm being brought in as I was just like, is that a vein? It's just me going crazy. It he brought in people who are younger in the hobby, and I don't know for sure how experienced they are, but I know that like if I say the Latin name of something, they can't like always run over and pick out that plant or fish, which no fault. I mean, most fish store employees aren't going to know that about everything they carry, nor should they. But in that store, I just have gotten to know so well what's in it and what Steve likes, and that I know a pretty good chunk of that, and so I think it's kind of going to be I'm in more of an advisor and sales role. John Gonzalez, what's up? How's it going? Welcome, and I'm glad you, yeah, glad you caught it. So, oh, you have a tank full of rainbows. Nice. Yeah, Bob Kaler's Aquatics. Check out his page. He's got the coolest fish at his house. Man, lucky dog. If I had more room, I would. But that brings me to another point on this channel. So, and as I said earlier, if you guys are having trouble with something in your tank, feel free to drop a question and I will let you know. JH, what's up, Joseph? How's it going? Um, the uh, the sorry guys, my brain just had a brain hiccup. That's still, like I said, from we were talking about the lightning thing. When you hear me stop or stutter, it's still like a lasting impact. I don't know how long it'll last, if it'll last forever, but it happens. Also, I like if I drink something, sometimes this side of my mouth is still like stroked out, but it's getting better. Pretty much most of the effects are gone. Today though, my spine is now the two vertebrae are completely, one is completely obliterated, the disc in between, that's the word they used, and the vertebrae has like wings if you were to look at it down on an anatomical model. So you got like your vertebrae and then your wing and a wing and then your spinal column. Well, the wings like broke off, like it just exploded. It looks like what's that? The Necronomicon cube or a Pokeball or I don't know, something. A hand grenade just went off in it when the lightning hit it. It just heated up the goo in the center of the disc, the gelatinous stuff, and just popped like an expanding balloon. Let me look at some of these. Lee and Mandy Batters, we got a pair of jade eyes last week. Oh, breeding, nice. Well, you know, they might settle in to breed. That's a hard question. If they've already paired off, you might look in there in 2 days and have them breeding. That's a timeless question, you know. So I've had fish that are pairs that never bred for me ever. Did I get scammed maybe on like were they actual pairs? I don't know. But they did never pair up. So my advice with that is to get, if you can afford it. A lot of times breeders will sell fry for like super cheap, like not even like juvenile, but like young fry. So like if you have the time to wait, like with plecos, it's a while. I know rainbow fish, it's a while. But for like a pseudomcgill or a crib, maybe you're gonna be waiting maybe 6 to 8 months before reproductive size, probably to a year. And if you can get those for like $4 a piece as babies or something, or $3 a piece, and then raise six is the magic number they say, that statistically you'll have a boy and girl if it were 50-50 population, which it's not in the fish world. But statistically, you're like 90 some percent chance likely to have a both genders in the fish world if you go to the store and get six of something, as long as they're not separated artificially. I see your question about shrimp. I'm just going to finish this up real quick about buying pairs. But if you buy a pair, if it's a proven pair, there's certain fish that really do need to pair up, like cichlids. Angelfish I've seen will repair sometimes, but having a pair is nice. Crebensis will repair sometimes, but they like to, like the Tinniatus varieties and the Bova varieties seem to like to pair for life, from what I've seen. Uh, Usually when I've had them, I've had to have the mating partner die for like a year before they even consider pairing up with another fish, and no babies around. So it can be nice to get a pair, but saying when they'll reproduce is hard to say. There's a lot of cichlids that a pair pays off big time though, like the Riff Lake you know, Lake Tanganyika and stuff like that. And also like Oscars or green tear, some of the bigger like or geophagus, some of the big like the different big fish from South America. The bigger fish seem to like the bigger the fish, better the pairing is. Also, I don't know a ton about puffer breeding, but I know it's really difficult. And so if you have any fish like zebra plecos or leopard frog plecos or puffer fish, something that is just notoriously hard to breed. If somebody's offering you a pair for a good price, like $100 more, you probably won't see that. But if they do, it's totally worth getting the pair. So that's my 2 cents on that. But I don't know when they'll reproduce. Carlos Cardenas, cherry shrimp are dying from what I believe to be calcium deficiency. Would you recommend I get calcium in there? So the trick that Lucas Bretz has been using for a while, and that I started copying him like a year and a half ago, I will hard boil some eggs, peel those eggs, and then I'll put those egg shells back into a pot that's boiling, and then I'll just kind of crush them a little, like break it, but it's still on that membrane, and put little pieces of that in my filter, and that will allow bacteria to grow on the egg, which has a layer of protein that is that like weird skin that holds together underneath the shell. And the bacteria will eat that, break down into the shell of the egg, and you'll have broken down molecular calcium in the water again. Now you can also add cuttlefish cuttle bone, and you can get that at the bird section of like Petco or PetSmart, any of the big box stores. And I'll get that too, and I'll just take like a little piece of it, and I'll just crush it down, and then I'll just in my hand go right to the bottom of the tank and sprinkle it like in the substrate. So that's a way to do calcium. There's foods that have calcium. Food is another good way to do calcium with shrimp, especially with cherry shrimp. But my guess is that it's not calcium that your shrimp are missing. I don't know what makes you say calcium for sure. But if they're lacking calcium, you'll see that they can't shed properly. Like they'll get stuck half shedding and die like caught in their molt. So that's usually the main sign. The other sign you can see when they have too much also sometimes, and that's when they get these ribs of white crustiness on them sometimes. There's also infections or parasites that can cause that, but that's a whole other day to talk about. Do you feel like forktail, blue eye, rainbow fish will go well with shrimp? Yeah, I mean, they'll eat the babies. I'm doing this right now downstairs. So I'm also a hypocrite. Like, if you're new to shrimp and you're like really trying to get the colony going, don't put any fish with your shrimp. But if you've had the colony going for a little while, there's 30 or 40 shrimp in there, and 10, 15 that are producing babies off and on, go ahead and put fish in there. Just give them good hiding spots. That's what I would say. And rainbow fish tend to stay towards the top, but they're also a very like instinctual fish. Like I wouldn't do neon dwarf rainbows because they go for anything that's moving. They're like, what is it? Same with like these angelfish. These guys are like savage. They'll follow my hand. They'll jump out of the top. I had to lower the water in this tank. See, I'm not quick to criticize local fish stores. They know more about guppies, cichlids. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I'm not criticizing them in that way. I'm just saying that I think the role I'll come into play is kind of the like, hey, I have a question. Can somebody answer it kind of thing, which that's great. I hope I can help people. Thing I want to remember is that I don't know everything, and just to tell people this is my experience, or I don't have experience, please look at X, Y, or Z. Admitting when I am out of my league. Let's see here. I'm just reading the comments. Sorry, guys, I got a little behind. Yeah, if your snails are looking clear, that's another good sign that they may be low on calcium. So snails are a good sign of that. Beyond calcium, you don't just need calcium. So calcium doesn't just absorb into your body. You need to have carbonate, so calcium carbonate, or calcium permanganate. You know, just different calcium organic compounds to get brought into the structure that is life. You know, life forms, organisms. There's very few organisms that without just straight eating it can bring in elements, and you know calcium is an element into their body and just be like, oh, okay, I got it and I used it all. Most things will, even if they eat it, they'll poop out a bunch of it, and they may get a little bit of it, but most things, what they need is like a complex molecule, like a fat or something, that has calcium in it. So like eating something else like a plant that has calcium in it, or you know. And when we're talking about shrimp, they are scavengers that break things down at the lower level of the food chain, so that's not necessarily true, and same with snails. But as for your fish, like omega acids and things like that, omega fatty acids, you want to, if you just gave them drops of omega fatty acids into their tank or even into their mouth, that's not assurance that they're going to absorb it and eat it. They need to eat things that help them metabolize it, as in use it, so that it can be incorporated into their body. Bacter AE, yeah, that is a great one that helps out a lot of people's shrimp. It really depends on your it really depends on your water and everything, you know. Let's see here. Oh, local club meeting, select pet. I hope that was fun. Chattanooga, Ed, I like your picture. Tanya Dale. Hey, I'm seeing some people I haven't seen in a while. I've had great luck using those wonder shells with your NeoCaridina shrimp. Redacted XX, Sam, I think that is some good advice right there, sir. Do the eggshells, what do you do with, okay, never mind, sorry. Folks, I've had, oh, okay. So your shrimp are not shedding. Well, if they haven't shed in 3 weeks, that's, I mean, they could be eating it quicker than you could see it, but I think that their shells will be, I think it'll be all right. Oh, okay. Any advice for Quarry cat fry? I can get them to hatch, but they don't live more than a few days. Tried multiple tanks, but no luck. I feel like I'm missing something simple. Yeah, Sam, so I have some advice. I'm not the best in the world at this. I have bred them for profit. You know, like I'm over that. I don't like breeding fish where I'm just trying to get like 100 fish in there. I like breeding fish where I have an ecosystem, and if they want to have babies, they have babies. And if I see a bunch of fry and they're getting picked off and I can do something about it, I will take those babies, I'll put them in one of my shrimp tanks until they're big enough that they're not going to get eaten immediately, and then I'll reintroduce them. So what I would recommend is if you can get the eggs to hatch, that's a huge part of the battle. A lot of times people can't get that to happen because of bacteria, and so you need to use something like methylene blue. I run into this problem in my tap water. My tap water has nothing in it, and sometimes harder water protects those eggs from fungi. Sorry, my allergies are awful. Everything's starting to bloom here. We had an 80-degree day in Seattle the other day after a freezing week the week before. So what I recommend for little Corydoras is they need to get food down to the bottom that's real mushy. And so, like, what they're eating, you can feed them. I mean, people will feed them baby brine. They'll feed them, like, micro worms, things like that. And that, if they find it and eat it, they will eat it occasionally. But I've found that giving them, like, algae flakes and then having them in a seasoned tank is really the main thing. So like having a tank that's a year old that has algae on the sides, that has little white dots that move around, you know, little bugs of some sort that live in your water. I actually, in my shrimp tank downstairs, the blue shrimp tank, I actually take turkey basters from my other healthy tanks like this one here, and I squirt turkey basters of water into that tank so that it constantly gets inoculated with new algae, new paramecium, new whatever is coming in on new plants that I buy and trade and things like that. But with the cories, I would really try algae tabs. I really like, I have them sitting around. They're Hikari green spirulina algae wafers. Those things are like crack to my all my fish. Like even my guppies and stuff are obsessed with those. Those are great. I haven't had much luck with any other brand. Like all my fish like those. So if I get those, I'll break it up into a bunch of pieces, and I will really heavily plant the bottom of the tank for the fry. And if they have like plants they can go into and then come back out, like Cypress hell fry or chainsaw, uh, stuff like that. This really fine leafed stuff, that's really helpful. I, for some reason, like stargrass and stuff like that, they really like in my tanks. And my tank downstairs, I can't stop the baby panda corridors from coming. Like, I'll just see that there's another one this big. But it seems like there's a jump. I do lose a lot from teeny wiggler size. They're getting eaten. And they're so helpless, hapless that they just kind of like flutter around and they can't swim to their target or whatever. They just kind of meander for a good 3 or 4 weeks. And then when they're young, they do this terrible thing in the wild that must have a reason. But they swim around the tank in laps. I've noticed many different Corydara species. The babies do this in the middle of the night. And it's just like, hey, I'm food, and so they can get eaten a lot. So finding out if your babies are getting eaten or getting a fungi, like what's killing them, would really help. So I would say observe even more. I know you're probably watching a lot, Sam, but that's some of my advice for now. And then get them back in with the big fish as soon as they're like a 1/4 inch long. Take the loss on some of them dying and getting eaten. But if the majority of your fish can't eat them, put them back in. They're fairly quick by the time they're like 2 months old or a month and a half old, and they'll get away. And they'll grow way faster when they think they have to run away from things. So like the cories that I'll put in here when they're like this big, they'll actually grow 2 to 3 times faster than the ones in the shrimp tank. So, let's see here. What? You can't get Dr. Pepper cans anymore? Where do you live, Daniel? Keeping fish? Let's see here. Oh, gotta go. Okay, all right, Bob. You take care, buddy. I'm probably way behind on the chat. I'm gonna scroll to. Oh, I'm not that far back. All right, sorry guys. Also somebody asked how the sponge, the blob, Bob the Blob is doing. And so, oh yeah, Christy, by the way, before I get into that, you know, yeah, a quarry only tank would be another good idea. Sand is something that the babies really like, but I keep mine. I don't keep them in sand, but I know that they do like that. They also like things they can burrow in. So actually, the babies in the wild live in the silt of the riverbanks, and they burrow themselves in, and they just have their snout. And you'll see their barbels, their odontodes will actually develop really early, like first few weeks before they have any pattern or anything. And they'll use that, and they'll kind of go boom, and then kind of burrow back out, so just their nose is sticking out, and they'll be under silt. So mulm is not a bad thing. Oh yeah, JH getting excited for Aquashella. So I'm not going to Aquashella, unfortunately, but I will be in Florida at the end of this month and end of next month and in May. I got free tickets to Aquashella, and so I feel like a bum that I couldn't get the money together for the plane, but I couldn't. You know, I just couldn't get the money together to do that right now. I've still got, as you see, my jacked up teeth, the giant gap here, and then missing teeth. This whole area is missing all my molars from the lightning. those all blasted out, cut up all in here, broke the jaw here, and fractured, I should say, here. So they've grafted back in here, and where is it? And here they're just not gonna do anything. So I'm just gonna be a hillbilly, I guess. Uh, and so yeah, that's just costing me a buttload of money. But I wish I was at Aquashella checking that out. Plus, I'm starting the new gig with aquariums, and so I hope you have fun there without me. I'm sure you will. JH always gets the best interviews and stuff there, so that's really fun. They will not send you they will not transfer the ticket. It was just a thing saying like if you want to stream live, we will let you in, kind of thing, which was very nice, and I appreciate it. I know Teresa from the shrimp contest, and then also Rob over at Flip Aquatics, which Flip Aquatics you should check out for their Caridina shrimp and for their base. If you're getting into shrimp, they have a lot of cool stuff from overseas. I always like Lucas Brett's for domestic shrimp, and then I like Flip Aquatics for higher end Caridina and international shrimp, and I like Aquatics Arts for rare shrimp and or I like their NeoCaridina and everything just as much too. They're really, really strict on 90-day quarantines there because of the Ellobiopsidae that has happened in many cases on imports. And so I know for a fact that Aquatic Arts has like gotten super strict, and they've worked really hard. If they couldn't find a vendor, they just didn't have whatever that was. They were out of like red cherry shrimp for a while, the basics. So yeah, Christy, you don't like going to the dentist anyways? Yeah, I don't either, honestly. But I've been a dozen times so far since the strike, and I've probably got 3 more big appointments. One is here. I had a tooth that broke above the gum line, and the bottom of the tooth is still in there. God, my eyes and nose are so itchy. And so yeah, that is a little frustrating. A little frustrating that they're gonna have to like cut the side of the gum and the hard tissue under the gum. It's not quite bone, but it's like maybe cartilage. I don't know. Not looking forward to it. So the other thing I was gonna say that I was having a hard time with this channel is another the Zed. Welcome. So I think it's time that we give out a gift card. What do you guys think? Can I get some likes for a gift card giving outage? What are all the colors of shrimps? Oh wow. I can't say your name, sir, but the Google, that kind of funny that they let you have that name. All the colors of shrimp are new subscriber 186 element. That's awesome. You skate? You skate, bro? I used to skate a lot. Blind was what I always rocked the gear back in the 90s. So all the color NeoCaridina shrimp. Whoa. So it's almost impossible to answer, but let's go. Let's get into it. So there's yellow, there's gold, which is like a translucent yellow, and then there's also another type of sakura yellow, which is like canary yellow, not translucent, whereas like yellow is see-through. Now there's red. There's like a ruby red that's a deep red, but you can see through it. And then there's painted red, which you can't see through. And then there is Bloody Mary, which is a dark red where the flesh is red. And then there is black, a bunch of different colors of brown, bunch of different colors of striped and spotted that are just wild form, bunch of clear ones that are wild ones that'll have different spots and dots and animals and so forth. And then The the next ones to come out were then the orange shrimp, and then the Rileys, which have the clear center, Rileys or Rileys, and the red and the orange came out, and then a blue shrimp came out, and then the blue had a Riley, and then the carbons had a Riley, and then there was green shrimp, and there's three different branches of green NeoCaridina. Zangengensis is one type of NeoCaridina, and then Palmata, and then Davidi, and then NeoCaridina Geoffrus, I think it's pronounced, is another one. And so those are where we mainly get our colors from. And the green comes from Palmata, Zengengensis, and Davidi. So it has a birth in three different paths. I'll have to update some videos because they've been finding out stuff. And then in that all that mess, there are razorbacks or lines, as they're called, like gold line or yellow line, yellowback, whatever you want to call them. And usually the lines are earth tones in yellow, or like green, brown, black, something like that. But purple is the main color that does not come out well. In NeoCaridina, there are not really white shrimp that well. There's snowballs, which have some white on them, but they still have a lot of clear. You don't see the like crystal red and crystal black, like that solid of white on those shrimp yet, but I bet that's coming. So that's next. That's next. Also, there's like Santa Claus shrimp, which are new, which have a red. They're like cherry shrimp with all clear body and a red head. That's kind of cute. Yeah, I really like the green ones with the gold stripes. I had some awesome ones. Aquatic Arts has these ones that are from the blue line, and they can't even promise you that they're green, and they tell you that. So they say they're green and blue with gold line. And the blue ones with the gold line, it's like a light tan color, all the way to like extreme school bus yellow that runs down their back, and then they're blue, like a dark navy blue, all the way to a light sky blue. So those are kind of cool. But then in the same exact batch, you'll get like green shrimp, and some are, I've never seen them anywhere but there. They're like Babalti shrimp green. They're like super green. They're not like a dark green, like a jade or like an evergreen tree. They're super dark. So, yeah. Uh, let's see here. You guys are impressed by the shrimp color name drop down. Don't even get me into Caridina. I know a lot of their patterns too. Let's play a game. Which one is my favorite shrimp? I really, really, really love blue shrimp because blue is a structure. Let me go off on a tangent. And I know I'm gonna have to change the name of this live stream because I was gonna give you guys ideas for nano aquariums, but nobody's asked about it, and everyone seems to be just jiving and we're hanging out. So yeah. So basically, blue in the natural world. Get ready. Is, and you can look this up because you're going to be like, oh, BS, that's not true, Alex. You're crazy. Blue in the natural world does not exist often at all. So, azurite, indigo, one species of butterfly, and a few deep ocean fish are like the only things that are truly a blue pigment. Like if you put it in a room devoid of any light and then used a mass spectrometer to look at the color frequency that it reflects, because color, this thing is not yellow. This flashlight is every color except yellow. You're only seeing it reflect the yellow where it's sucking up all the rest of the colors of the rainbow. So when something's iridescent, it's just doing a bad job. It's reflecting off all these colors in a prism. And so blue was not even a word, until about 2,000 years ago, until the time of Jesus or so. And not even a European word until 1000 AD, bleu, which meant like the color of the sky or the color of the water. And it meant more like transparent. because the sky and water change color. So shrimp, you can look up the thing about the word blue, that it was not even in pictures of rainbows. It was only used for very special occasions. It's not common in the natural world. And if you look at it in fish or in plants, most of the time, when you hold them up to the light, the thing is not blue itself. It is like a blue jay feather. If you hold that up to the light, it's yellow from behind. It's really bizarre. And you know, the sky scatters every color except for the blue when it's right over you. But like sunrises scatter every color except for reds, which are the lower frequency and take the longest to get through. They don't have these big arches. So anything that we look at that's blue, this is crazy. Okay, let me find something to draw on. You got me on a tangent. You didn't even know. So, when you see a blue shrimp, ignore this watch. No product placement. Blue shrimp or a blue fish. Most color pigments look like this or this, and the thing is like, that's red or that's red, and it reflects light off, and you see red. Blue has to look like a Christmas tree, and this Christmas tree is made out of little triangle prisms. And what happens is the light comes out and it reflects off as blue, but at the same time, light is reflecting down this way, and then you've got another light that reflects from in here to here, and then up to here. And it has the same wavelength. So what happens is you see all the color wavelengths in this inverse piece of the fin, and this is why iridophores, and when you talk about blue Moscow guppies or Moscow guppies, they're not pigment colored. So they're not colored by the actual substance in the scales. They are colored by, in the scales, there are prisms. And just like the Pink Floyd logo, and you see the rainbow coming out, different prisms project different colors of light. Okay? And they have molecular sized, just above molecular sized, shapes on their iridophores. So an iridophore means it reflects light and it's not that color itself. But blue or opalesque are, their light comes off as in all the light colors, and then because of this weird like Christmas tree shaped scale, so here's the outside of the scale. This is what makes fish look silver too, okay? Like that rainbow glint, or diamonds have that glint. So it's coming out, all that pretends this is all the colors at once. You've got another light right here. So you got all the colors coming back out, all the colors coming back out. And then this reflects down to here, the short one, and it takes the blue, everything but the blue, and cancels out that whole wavelength. So blue shrimp are not actually blue. When they die, they turn pink. It's bizarre. When those cells decompose, you've got a pink shrimp left. So blue, hands down. I love blue fish. I didn't know why. And looking into it, there is a crazy history, and blue is one color that almost always in nature is due to physics. It's the structure of the thing rather than the actual pigmentation of the thing. It's a mechanics rather than a inherent property. So that's why I like blue. And I like blue shrimp a lot. I don't know if that yeah, your blue, JH says his blue bolts turn pink when they die. So that's another trick, because in the fish, same with guppies, they have a as I said, they either have chromatophores, which are color, or iridophores, which are prisms that reflect the flashy, shiny silver, like a fish scale look. And iridophores can also reflect any color, but they've mostly only evolved to reflect blues and like whites or blacks, and that is to suck up every color. And if they are sucking up every color, they actually look like a comb. They don't look like a Christmas tree. They look like a comb. Honey, honey, wife, Laura, Laura, you're shining me with your phone. My wife was just blinding me with her phone for a second. And sorry, guys, I was yelling. Yeah, so blue is really rare. And I have a great one from Lucas Bretz, and so I work on keeping it really pure. Same with guppies. I love my blue Hawaiian Moscow guppies. Which brings me to another point, which I was going to say earlier, which is that I might be getting rid of all my guppy tanks. I have had them forever, and I know a lot of people with them, so I could get them back if I wanted them. But I feel like they're taking up, like I have a 20-gallon times 8 for guppies, and the babies are, yeah, she was trying to make me look blue. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Blue eyes, gray eyes, they don't have a color. They're actually non-pigmented eyes. And whereas they have a structure that reflects blue from a man in Spain around 8,000 years ago. It's a male trait they figured out. And in a Spanish dude 7,000 years ago in Europe had blue eyes. And that trait has passed on to men and women. And usually you need your mother and father to both have it, but there's ways that can happen without that. And it's because your eye is not actually blue, like your eye is not actually colored blue or gray or whatever. It, like green or brown, those are actual pigments. They are it's clear, and it's the way light reflects off, just like it reflects off the ocean or the sky. That's why people with blue eyes, like if I'm wearing gray, it looks like more of a gray color. If I wear blue, it looks more bluish. Maybe it'll work here. I don't know. Too much shadow, I think. But albino eyes, they're so translucent that they have, and this works for fish or people or whatever, but they're so translucent that they have no chromatophores or iridophores, and you see the blood, and that's why they're pink. That's the capillaries in the eye. Same, Guppy Girl. Just got to Seattle and have 3 empty 10 gallons. Would love a few of yours. Oh, okay. So I definitely need to get rid of a bunch of fry. Like I've got 300 fry, and I'm not joking. I counted them in one tank, like by taking a third out, and I was like, holy cow. So I need to get rid of a bunch of fry. If you live in the Seattle area, please hit me up, and I'll actually, like, I'll hook it up real cheap to free. I just have to double check what they'll give me at the fish store. Let's give out some gift cards. You guys have been waiting. You guys are patient troopers. All right. Let's see. Who's been here since the beginning? I feel like Christy Hayes, you've been here a long time, right? Right, Christy? I wonder if JH, you still here, buddy? So Christy Hayes, you've been here a long time. You're a loyal follower. Water Wizard is too. All right, we're going to have a battle between these two loyal followers. All right, we're going to figure out Relic Turtle, hello. I'm just talking about this live stream, but yes, they've also been subscribed, which I should also reward. Maybe I'll do that another time by looking at the dates. So, you know what? Not your average fish keeper, and I'll let 4 people in on this. Relic Turtle. So Christy, Water Wizard, Relic Turtle, not your average fish keeper, and Water Wizard. Is that did I say everyone? Water Wizard, not your average fish keeper, Christy Hayes, and Relic Turtle. You guys each write me which Cory catfish I have the most of. The person who gets the answer, or I have 9 species, so, but I have over 20 of one particular species. The first person to type the answer I see will get a $20 gift card. Pandas, water wizard, ding ding ding. You get a you get a puppy. Okay, so water wizard's getting a $20 gift certificate. All right. You guys are still in here. The rest of you guys are still in that I just said. Relic Turtle and Christy and who else was it? Let's get some more people in here. Not your average fish keeper. Anthony Smith, you said me. Sure. That's for being proactive. So, well, I want to get 5 people in on the next one. Actually, you know what? We're opening up the floor. If you're all watching, you're all in on it. Like my craziness? All right. So first, let's come up with a question. And I don't want people complaining, so guys, give me a couple suggestions, and I'm going to riff a little bit while I see some questions. Yeah, you get a puppy, and you get a puppy. You know what's I'll tell this story while people type a question that you guys think would be a good one. Maybe that one that you guys, like, I would have to answer in my head and pick the best answer that you guys give or something like that. Otherwise, I'll come up with a question. But I want to tell you guys this story really quick before the end. And by the way, I really appreciate those of you who support on Patreon and the super chats and stuff like that. But just watching, subscribing, and sharing, that means a ton to me. We're getting so close to 5,000 subscribers, and it's all organic. It's all because you guys rock and you've like wandered your way into this bizarre Allie, you're great. Into this bizarre channel, which I think I'm gonna try to do like ooh, what is the one type of fish Alex has the most of in his tank? Ooh. I don't know the answer to what's the most common guppy. That's the problem to that. But it's probably right now like the tricolor, like 3-pack you get of blue, red, and yellow at PetSmart. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the story. So I'm gonna say this story. You guys can throw up some question ideas, and I'll pick one. But my wife and I, we wander into the pet store. Or no, I already screwed up the story. Alex, come on, get your brain right. So my wife and I, we got together with my parents, and we went to the farmer's market. Farmer's market in Ballard, Seattle, Washington, is flanked by stores in this older district. I don't know, it's 130-year-old stores and buildings. So, oh, not your average fish keeper. If you know that, if you know my favorite cereal, even if you know, it's like a tie, but if you know it, you've been paying attention to like the crap that's in my fish room, because I'll sit there and just eat cereal and watch. So we're down at the farmer's market. We go into this store called the Palm Room, which is very cool, and they sell like exotic plants. My wife keeps blinding me with her phone. And so we're in the Palm Room in Seattle, and the Palm Room has everything from big tall trees to little succulents and really cool locally made pots and ceramic and stuff like that. And so I really like that store, and they sell some crossover like hydrocotyl and stuff like that crosses over into the fish hobby, or the aquascaping hobby, I should say. Immersed plants and things like that. And so we go in there, and I'm at the counter, and I've picked out, one sec, I'll show you. All right, so we're at the counter, and I picked out this plant. I don't remember the name, but it looks like Hygrophila polysperma, or kind of looks like the Christmas, what the heck's it called? I don't know, I'm spacing. But I think it's a cool looking plant. So, yes, Fittonia red. So, this plant, it's also called like the nerve plant or something, is like the slang name. And then this little square jar. And I picked that out. And I picked out that handmade little pot. Took it up to the front, and I thought I'd be buying it because it's my wife's birthday. And man, I'm sorry, guys. It's so distracting when that light is just reflecting into my eye. But in any case, so I'm buying her that, and the lady at the counter, and my wife and my mother are off looking at plants still. The lady at the counter starts chatting, and I'm like, yeah, I'm working with Steve at Aquariums and we've been talking about, you know, finding more immersed plants and stuff like that, that we can sell, like maybe that we can find for both hobbies, so people can come into the store and find both things. And basically, we get to the subject somehow that I have puffer fish, that I have pea puffers. And yeah, duckweed. Uh, so we talk about pea puffers, and apparently she has an 8-year-old daughter who was watching the Discovery Channel, and pea puffers came on the Discovery Channel. They were talking about puffer fish of all types, and I was excited to hear that the Discovery Channel still shows stuff like that, rather than just like, I don't know, loggers from the future or whatever they show on the History Channel, Discovery Channel these days. I stopped watching because of all those reality shows. Like, just make it reality. I don't need the false drama. Just show us the scientist sampling whatever. Um, so I talked to the lady she's not the owner, but I think she's the manager. And she's like, yeah, my daughter, who's like 8 or 9, has been obsessed. Do you guys sell those fish in your store? And I was like, no, I don't have, there's none in at the store at the moment. And then, of course, I was wrong. Steve had like 30 in. So I led her astray. But regardless, I had 5 in my tank, and I thought, well, there's none at the store right now. They're not that expensive. I can always buy another one. Why don't I give her my biggest male puffer? Because he's the one who causes trouble anyways. She has a 10-gallon tank that she wanted to keep it alone in. Her daughter has had a tank with just a snail that she brought back from, they were in Minnesota, and her daughter hid a snail like in her pocket or something. Her, like, at the time 7 or 8-year-old daughter. And so they had to buy an aquarium for this aquatic sea snail she took out of the Great Lakes or something. And they've had it, and it's alive, and it's still just kicking and getting bigger and whatever. Some invasive snail. And the mom just hasn't had the heart to, like, be like, come on, get rid of the snail. So this girl has, like, saved up her money for this just plain pond snail type thing out of the Great Lakes, and she's got this little thing, and she's been wanting fish. Well, 6 months ago, she sees puffer fish, and she's like, I want a puffer fish. And then it turns out that they, hey, somebody sees where this is going, Guppy girl. And I was like, well, it's not going to get along with the snails, but if she wants a puffer fish, I'll give her a puffer fish. So I come back to the store. She gives me the lovely plant, and her daughter, she brings her daughter into the store for when I show up at the end of the shift to give her this plant, because the store is only run by this really friendly, flamboyant dude who's super just like kooky kind of guy, and then her on shift that day, and maybe one other person in this palm room store. And so I come in towards the end of the shift, and she tells her daughter, hey, we've got something for you. This nice guy, that's me, brought in a present. So I give her the puffer, and she's like, ah! Like, so excited. Like, her mom is like, she's never asked for anything. She doesn't ask for stuff. Like, she just doesn't. She's not the kind of kid who does. Apparently, the last thing she asked for was at the age of 7. She asked if her mom and her could cut down the old walnut tree in their yard and build a cello together. which I think is just like, oh God, that little girl is so cute. Like I just want to give her all the difficult fish in the world. No, I think she'll like take really good care of it. And so I hooked them up with a ton of plants and I gave them snails and I was like, you're gonna need to put your snail in a different tank. And apparently her mom's like, oh, she didn't care about snails anymore. Like she's feeding the puffer all those ram's horn snails I gave her in a jar. So apparently killed two birds with one stone. Three, I got a plant for free. She got a fish and the snail, which she had a whole tank for with substrate, and they were buying filters and just like all sorts, like everything you'd buy for fish. The mom was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So we kind of redid their tank, and her daughter has a puffer fish and a little jar of snails that are reproducing. And so, yeah. Alan Bauer, wow, you just came out of the blue, buddy. Get rid of guppies, catfish part. Man, you are on target. Wow. That is actually what I was kind of thinking of doing. So I have all these plecos that are adults, and I have a bunch of cories. I love Corydoras, and I really want to start collecting rarer ones now that I can at my job. Like we can order in stuff from like the Cichlid Exchange in Texas and the Venezuelan or Peruvian Corydoras and Colombian Corydoras exchanges. So I kind of want to do that. And like honeycomb, catfish, woodcats, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would kick myself really hard because I've had endlers and guppies for 20 some years. But, I mean, I've had breaks in there. But, like, the leopard endlers I've been working on off of Lucas Brett's line for years, like, that would be hard. I don't think I can give up them. But I might, like, if somebody wants to take up my collection and my breeding process of my endlers, my blue endlers, with the rainbow tails and the crazy, like, my Japanese blue endler mixed with the rainbow endlers. If somebody in the area wants to take that over and keep line breeding them, I would probably give them away. But it's a commitment. It's several tanks, 20 gallons, dedicated. So if you want those things, you're in the area, just please get a hold of me on Facebook. I'm easy to find on Facebook. The group, I think, is actually, there's a Facebook group, and then you'll see me linked to the thing below. But all right, let's get to the last $20 giveaway question now that we're at the end of the show. What do I want it to be out of y'all's? Let me look up. Sorry that story took forever. I could have gotten there way quicker, but my wife is still blinding me with that phone. She's just like playing, I don't know, Angry Birds or something. She's playing Angry Husband. Not your average fish keeper. Man, see, my wife won't let me get a big tank, like a real big one right now, because we live on the 3rd floor of a building, for one. For two, we'd flood our own bedroom. And the other part is, like, our property manager doesn't want us to have fish in here that much, but he's allowed, like, what I have, because they're all, like, no more than 40 gallons. I would love a 120-gallon rainbow tank. Or, how about this? A staired, like, tiered tank of, like, plecos and honeycomb cats and upside down catfish and maybe... So there's 8 families of cory catfish, and they're all very different. There's like pygmy cories, the really teeny ones. There's Hesbrosus, Hestatus, and Pygmaeus in one family. And so there's 8, arguably 9 families of cories, like not not families, but categories. Brochus are another one. Like they're not really, but oh, totally. Another the Zed. Please, guys, spread the word. Goldfish are not beginners fish. They've suffered enough. Educate people. If you want to set up a tank for kids, many choices, small danios, white cloud minnows, etc. I totally agree with you. Goldfish need a lot of space. They are one of the hardier fish, so if you're doing an outside thing, then I get that. But for a fish tank at home or in classroom, no. Like, don't abuse the goldfish. Just get something cool. Like, I'm not nothing against goldfish, but I think kids would actually get closer and like check out something like celestial pearl, like danios, or even leopard danios or zebra danios. Those are really hardy fish. Guppies, those are really hardy fish, and you could treat them a lot better. In any case, I agree. Whoever threw that out there. All right, last giveaway, guys. What's it gonna be? How are we gonna do this? I want it to be a democracy. You know I love y'all's. Can we get some likes though? We got like, I don't know. It says according to me, and I don't know what you guys are seeing, but it says 45 people are in here and we got 26 likes. So let's count to 5 and get those likes going. Oh, I saw one. 1, 2. You got to minimize this screen or click back from the chat, and then you can click like and then go forward to the chat a lot of times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Click that like. Someone unliked. Really? I'm gonna come hunt you down and give you a hug. Ooh, random number generator. You know, that's usually how I would feel like doing it. But I want to be sporadic. I'm bad at it, but just want to give it away. Just, you know, apparently Elvis used to drive around and give away Cadillacs. And throughout the course of his career, he gave away like 180 some Cadillacs. He'd buy a brand new Cadillac, pull it over at a bus stop, and he'd be like, "You get a car." And would just like call someone to give him a ride or whatever. Help out the slow typers. Ooh, okay. All right. All right, not your average fish keeper. Let me think of something that we can all get in on. Okay, here's going to be one. I know 3 of them. Goldfish do not count. Koi do not count. What were the first fish to be bred in Europe or the Americas as a pet aquatic fish? Like a tropical fish. Not carp. Not carp. Ooh, Tanya Dale. I'm going to give you it. You got it quick. Paradise fish. Paradise fish along with bettas. And then, believe it or not, angelfish very early on too. Which is weird to me, but somebody knew it. But Tanya Dale. Paradise fish. Yeah, paradise fish can have... and you know what, Christy? I'm sorry if I made it sound like I was picking you immediately when I was selecting you amongst a few people. But Tanya Dale, you get it. Don't worry, you guys. I'll be giving away more stuff soon. But if the people who won can get a hold of me, or if Tanya, if you want to pay it forward and pick someone else, that's fine too. I have codes that I can give out. So throw out another question. Wow, what a sweetheart, Tanya. Throw out another question. Whoa, okay. What's fair? I want to be fair to those of you who don't think you're fast typers. So let me think of something. Yeah, Water Wizard is the runner-up for sure. And Water Wizard was in the first deal. And Water Wizard is an OG. So I want to hook Water Wizard up, like, emotionally. I really do. So let's... I'm going to do one that is where I get to pick what it would be for me. Like, it's going to be subjective, and it's about my taste. So, what? The chat's just rolling. You guys are great. Yeah. Ooh. Perfect. Actually, Water Wizard, what fish would I buy with $20? It could be a group of fish or it can be a single one. Get your answers ready. What would Alex Williamson buy with oh, Dr. Pepper? That's clever. No, not a fish though. So type that in. I'll wait a minute and see what people say. And I'll pick the honest answer. Like if I see that list and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm spending my money on, I'll give it to them. Panda Corys is the last thing I'd buy. They just longfin super reds. Have to say, I have a bunch of those too. All right, guys, it's your chance for fame and glory right now. Type in your answers. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds from now, and then I'll read the answers, and that way you guys all have a chance. So, 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Water Wizard, answer us. 17, 18, 19, 20. Comes after 20. Oh no. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, so I'm going to look through the answers that I have and see what is the best to heart. Yeah, I wish I could get a long fin zebra pleco for 20 bucks. That would be great. So I would like you to buy a new fish for the $20 I won so we can all enjoy it. Oh, Water Wizard, that's sweet, but I'd like an answer. Platies. Ooh. Chattanooga Ed, Zebra Loach. That's pretty darn close, Chattanooga Ed. Pasky Rainbow Fish. I just got a bunch of Pasky Rainbow Fish, but that would have been the answer until recently. Let's see here. Oh, Water Wizard. That is really accurate, actually. Wow. This is tough. There's 3 of you who have answers that are all things I would get. Man, you guys are making this so hard on me. I should just get a random number generator again. That's how I do the annual or biannual one. Semi-annual? Dual annual? I don't know the word. All right, so Christy, Water Wizard, and Chattanooga Ed all have answers that are things I would buy. So, out of the 3 of you, Christy, Chattanooga Ed, and Water Wizard, what fish would you buy with $20? Right now, we're ending it. I'm picking the one that I think will be the most fun fish to have, the most interesting. I can wait. And for the rest of you, I'm sorry. This is just dragging out. Dario. Bing, Water Wizard. You're getting the gift certificate anyways, Water Wizard. You reacted quick enough. Dario is a great choice. I think they're fascinating fish. I have a video on them. I have a pair of them downstairs. And yeah, so all right, guys, that's going to end this So the folks who won tonight, Water Wizard and oh geez, don't make me scroll back and tell you who the other person was. Do, 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 do. Can somebody help me? My brain is not working. I can scroll back and find it, but Water Wizard and who's the other person? Tanya Dale did win, but she passed it forward, which was quite auspicious. And so did Water Wizard, to be fair, but he's been with me so long I didn't want him to pass it forward. Or she, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm assuming he. Do, 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 do. Allie Greenwell. All right. Okay, well, you guys contact me if you won the giveaways through Facebook or whatever. Just get a hold of me. Sometimes I don't see everything. Alan, man, buddy, thank you so much for the catfish party. Thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. There's another 20 bucks. I would give away another 20, but I will do that another time. I'll have to look up who it was. Or, I mean, contact me if you won, like I said. And then Chattanooga Ed, I really appreciate you tuning in. I really appreciate the unless it's Chattanooga ED, but I really appreciate you. This is the first live fish event I've ever watched all the way through. Wow, the bar is set extremely low. I'm sorry, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much for not your average fish keeper. We'll be giving away more stuff. Future, we'll be teaching you something actually. You know, fish, shrimp, all that sort of stuff, plants, and Christy Hayes and oh man, I have to do taxes too. And Chattanooga Ed, I feel like I owe you something, but I can't give everyone everything, so I'll give you guys a big cyber hug. Ugh. All right. So we'll do another giveaway. I mean, when people use the codes at Aquatic Arts, I get to give money away. So that's really awesome. And I like, this is fun. I mean, we should do something fair, like a photo contest where you guys vote on it or something. But organizing that just takes so much time, and it's fun just to like, you get a car, you get a car. All right. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful the rest of your afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, middle of the night in New Zealand. And take care of your Ginger. That is very sweet. She wants to pay it forward. All right. So with Alan and Ginger's, we'll do more $20 giveaways soon, and I'm gonna set that money aside, and we'll have two more $20 to give away. So thank you very much, Ginger. Appreciate that. And if you won, contact me because I got codes for you that will work. So Water Wizard, hit me up on Facebook. All right, guys. I hope you're doing well. Take care. Sorry this was so sporadic and we did not talk about stocking tank options at all. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and helping me through my philosophical breakdown or changes in life. And the fact that my wife blinded me at least half a dozen times with the darn phone. One last thing. I got 7 videos demonetized because I had the term dwarf shrimp, which is the actual scientific category of small freshwater shrimp, is dwarf shrimp. And I got in trouble. They pulled the videos and they said that they were slurs, that they were ethnic type slurs for prejudice slurs for small little people. So that frustrated me. I love little people or midgets or dwarfs or whatever you want to call it. I know there's specific medical disorders. I know there's pejoratives, but some people like to own that. I just love everyone who's kind. And your shape, your size, your color doesn't have to do with if you're kind. But in any case, they demonetized stuff, and I was like, I'm talking about shrimp. And so I finally got a hold of someone, and they were like, okay, well, if dwarf and shrimp were right next to each other, that's fine, but don't include the word short or stubby or small. So I had to change a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Algorithms at YouTube are uh, getting a little ridiculous. All right, guys. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for bearing with me. I'll be coming back soon. When I'm working in the store, maybe even the first day, I'll get some time to show you around again, say hello, introduce the boss. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for playing. Get a hold of me if you want.